Oh, wow. I can't move it. Barely move it. So today on Project Shop, we're going to be taking a look at these electromagnets I got from a job I helped do some demo on. Now, these come from, they came off the doors. There was a lot of security in this building. These are 12 volt DC, 300 milliamp, made in the USA. So I've always wanted a magnetic vise, mainly for transformers that I consider, or I call them bastards. And I don't know if you can see, but this particular transformer, it won't go through my machine because it has these little locks on the thing. They lock in, it won't come down. And here's an example of one that went through the press. Someone, me or someone else. Well, this isn't one with a lock, but this is what happens when you try to put one with a lock in the press. This one happened to delaminate because these are just kind of glued together. And if you watch that video I posted just before this, when my helper was running the transformers through the press, this is what I was talking about on delaminating. Now this thing, these coils have to sit on these plates, and when they're like that, you can't do it. So what I do is I just stick them in there like this, and I bend it back straight, and then they'll run through. It doesn't happen all the time. Certain transformers, and especially these ones, like this. And then this is another example of, if you see in that video, most of the ones that do this, they delaminate. You can see they just kind of come apart. I can get off with the hammer, no problem. Smack that with the hammer and it breaks it off. But if you didn't want to, some people in the comments were saying, man, that hammer's gonna wreck your wrist. I don't use that hammer a lot. I only showed in that video how to break them down with a hammer, because most people ain't gonna have a setup like this. And if you come across these transformers, as you can see, I've already started accumulating some more. If you don't have a press or a grinder or anything, you could just put these, I don't know how well you can see that, put the main portion real close. Let me see. These things here are like a T and an L. Okay? You guys made fun of me for calling these a W. You know, you guys call them I's and E's. But these ones are basically, I call them an upside down T and an upside down L. And when I'm beating that with the hammer, I'm putting that weld just like that. So when I smack that, the lighting's really bad over here. When I smack that, that just gives that some place to go. Because if you're just beating it like that, you know, it'll break, but you're not really giving it somewhere to go, and it takes less effort, basically, once that drops. And then you can flip it over and hit the other side. You got to bring it out a little further. But sometimes you could just, like, if you didn't want to beat it with a hammer, at this point what I would do is just grind that with the grinder. But anyway, we're gonna put these over here. I got a battery charging. It was 12 volts, but I put the battery charger on it just to see, or just to make sure, because these batteries been sitting around for a while. See where we're at. Let me take this off. So we're almost at 13 volts, 12.7. Let's see, put a load tester. Now this load tester reads like a volt high, sometimes like a volt and a half. I dropped it and it's been off ever since, but it still works pretty good. So we're at like 14.5 volts. So yeah, that's about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So looking at that needle, it's probably holding 800 cranking amps. Let's see what the label says. 800 cranking amps. So I'm good with that. Now what we need to do, let's put this back on charge just to get it going all the way up. I'll put those other batteries on charge too here. I haven't used them yet. So I'm gonna put this in the vise. Let's take these screws out of there, see if they work. I'm sure they do, because they came right out of this building. Like, everything was operational. Now, I've always wanted to make a magnetic vise to where I could just put these transformers without having to clamp it in a vise or whatever. It'd just be a lot easier if you can just kind of slide it right into this area, hit a switch, do your grinding, flip it, because this one here, the ones with these notches, I always grind all 4 welds and then smack it with a hammer. I mean, I don't know any other way of getting that out easier than that. I mean, I put this in my press and it just destroys it. But those other transformers like this, now this particular one here, I would just smack that with a hammer, you know, and then run it through the second press. That coil's so loose, gonna come out of there. But the ones where the plates are back and forth and you can't, you know, do that. And the way I check that is, if you look at the top piece, the eye, I guess you would call it, it would have the lines on both sides. You tell right away. If you see lines on both sides, if you see one line here and then over here that line's on that side, it's a cutter to me. Now those cutters, I used to put in a vise like this, right? I would put it in a vise like that, maybe like this. Yeah, probably like that. Or it really doesn't matter. But basically, what I would do is have the vise loose. And I made custom jaws. So this would actually be way out here. I extended the jaws so that the coils were, you know, basically you could drop the copper right down into a bucket. But once you have it in there, you cut this coil, and then you just move that over there, you cut that coil, you drop it into your bucket. And I used to do tons of them. I used to get bigger ones too. That's why I had this thing like out to here, so you can just drive them through. I had a whole bunch of little you know, custom drivers with little flat tips, because when you cut this, if you're driving it out, best thing to do is have a driver that's close to the side, just a little bit smaller width and diameter, and it just drives it out real easy. Or you can get down in there and pry them out the bottom. But these small ones, they come up, once you cut the coil, it comes out pretty easy. But anyway, let's see if these work. I got a switch here, but we're just gonna hardwire them real quick, and we'll go get some wire. I forgot I had this wire from that that 9-hour breakdown. This is from that same job. I don't think that's long enough. It's always good to have a stash of wire, so you can play around and experiment with stuff. Let's get a red wire, so we're official. Black and red. Now, there's a guy on YouTube that took microwave transformers, the ones that look like this but are bigger, and he took like 3 of them, and he took the top off, right? So it was just the W, and he, you know, got the wires out of it, and then he took 3 of them and he put it in this round thing, and then he poured like an acrylic or something in there to hold them in place, and he had them leveled, and basically he made a mini, probably about this big, electromagnet. And I've been wanting for years to make one for my crane. So we're gonna play with this one first. Get that in there. I actually use this battery to let's see if that'll tighten that up. I used this battery to start my other truck. There we go. Okay. A little tighter. All right. Now, I don't know how much force. I'm sure I can find out. The manufacturer is right on the side. This wire's a little crispy. Those wires were already exposed like that. I think they got ripped out of whatever they were connected to. So I hope it didn't damage anything on the inside. Oh yeah, that's nice. Let's see here. Sweet. Let me see. Okay, so I can slide it sideways. Wow. Well, wow. I mean, I had to pry that a lot to get that off there. That's actually kind of impressive. Let's see this bigger one. Now, the only way these are really going to work if they stay flat. Yeah, because I can twist that like that. Kind of, well, not really. Seems like it's getting tougher. Whoa. So yeah, you can, if you pry hard enough. I mean, these bigger transformers, there's a lot of leverage. You don't get that much that way. Yeah, but straight up. Are we losing? Get better contact. Yeah, it seems like when they're like that, it's a lot of force. But I'll tell you what, if you just put that on there like that and you were grinding it, I mean, that'd be plenty. I mean, you're not going to be. Maybe we can hook both of them side by side. Let's see if the other one works. Wait a minute. I want to see how much that plate. Try to raise this up. Let's see. I don't know what's inside there. I don't know how hard I can squeeze that. But I do a lot of welding and fabricating, which I haven't put on the channel yet, but me and my buddy do a lot of that. Custom building stuff. It's funny how this thing is on like a little swivel. It's got like a rubber bushing, and then they bored holes there to give it, I guess, because when a door closes, it's coming in on an angle like that. I don't know. Let's see how strong that is. Wow, that was weird because of that tilt. I didn't even feel it get sucked on there. Oh yeah. Now, let's see if I can get these on here so they're not touching. Oh. Straight on. This has a lot of power. Sideways. Oh, I'm bending that one. I wonder if it's the type of material. Oh shit. I wonder if it's the type of material that's made out of. Maybe it's extra magnetic. Or it's just a good piece of iron. Well, that one works. Let's test the other one. And then what I'd like to do is put both of these here. Let's just see if this one works before we get any ideas about what we're gonna do. That one's got a lot of crap on that magnet. So this would be nice for little welding projects, scrapping. If you want to hold something down, you know, drill some holes in it. That wire's kind of freaked up. All right, let's see here. Okay. Oh yeah. Wow. Ooh, that one's strong. Ooh. Yeah, it definitely seems like I don't know what I'm hearing over there, but oh, it sounds like a sprinkler. Okay. So that's pretty strong. I'd say let me see here. Let's put a switch on there. It'd be a lot nicer. If you were just going to throw a transformer up there to grind it, this would work great. Let me see something, because this is just going to have to do more. Let's see if I can't get both of these in here. Like that. There we go. Now I don't know if one magnet will affect over to the other magnet and like reverse the polarity. There's two electromagnets. I don't know how that works. Let's see. I can get that like that. Oh shit. I'm trying to make sure they're even so one's not stronger than the other. Now, let's see here. I'm gonna splice this with this one. Make sure we got all the wires over there. There we go. Now we should have double the power. Should make sure our battery's got some amps. 800 cranking amps. These things are only 300 milliamps. We might be a little overkill in the amperage here. I don't know what kind of control system these things use, or they just got like a rectifier that changes from AC to DC. For those of you who don't know, when you go from DC to AC, it's called a inverter, but when you go from AC to DC, it's called a rectifier. And that's why a lot of times these LEDs that I get a lot of burn up, because they got a rectifier in there. The rectifiers are cooking. That's probably what was in that. You see me taking apart that LED driver over here? Let's see. Oh, seems like one side of the magnet might be stronger than the other. One. Oh. Definitely has to be flat, because that little see that? That's making a difference. But I'll tell you what, that I like. Let me see here. just want to be able to disconnect one of these. Oh yeah. Oh man, that's really nice. I mean, I'm pushing on that really hard to get that to move, but for throwing a transformer up there, putting some juice to it, yeah, that takes a lot. It'd probably be better that way. Oh, seems like when you get them across all three, it gets pretty good. But I'll tell you what, I'm happy with that. I wonder how much like a steel plate. Let's get a flat steel plate. Let's see what we got around here. We'll just use this right here. Oh, so anyone who's ever wondering, this was a piece of angle. I notched it to slide on there, and this whole base right here is made out of a long channel of angle iron. It was like, I guess that's 3 by 4 or 5, 3 by 5 piece of angle, and I just made a box, and these just kind of slide in the box. And this, when this is pushing up and the pressure, it pushes down on this underneath here. I don't know how well you can see that. It goes to here, and there's 2 ribs that go out to the side. And I just built this thing out of scrap I had laying around. So let's just see what this plate will do. Where's my wire? Oh, I heard that. Oh, you know, it's probably the plate just rocking. Oh, wow. But I can't move it. Barely move it. You know what? I want to bolt these down to something and then put my crane scale and see how much this will actually lift up, because I might actually turn this into my crane magnet. Maybe I'll spread them open a little bit and just have a little patch, because I've actually picked up a couple times these big, I'll show you what I got in my storage one day. That's pretty interesting. I got these giant round discs that were 2-inch thick, and I went to go pick them up. Man, it was a pain to get them. I used my crane, and I pick up a lot of metal with that trailer, not just scrap, but like for welding and fabricating, and that crane helps out a lot. But having a magnet to pick up plates would be pretty awesome, and it'd be versatile, something I could use on the crane, eventually on my forklift, or even the cherry picker, the engine hoist I got around here. So that's definitely something we're going to be looking to. I'm stoked about that. I've been wanting for a long time to make a DIY magnet out of some of these transformers, which I'm still going to probably do. As soon as I'll probably have to go find some microwaves and finally break one down. 10 years of scrap, and I've never actually broke down a microwave and recovered these magnets or a transformer. I got those from the guy that used to work for me. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. If you guys have any suggestions or ideas about making electromagnets, I got the transformers, tons of wire. I've actually even thought about getting the actual, like you can buy transformer wire on a spool. And what that wire is it's basically a wire that's got a coating, some type of shellac on it. That's why when you look at these transformers, you know, a lot of people don't even know that could be different coils. And I know right away that that's aluminum, that's copper. Unless you cut them open or scrape them, you're not going to be able to tell. They all look the same. And these newer ones here, I guarantee you that's copper or aluminum. But it looks like copper because it has the same type of shellac coating on it. And that coating is basically there just to insulate itself from itself, because, you know, that's wound up like that. If that wire touched that wire there, this whole thing would short out and look like this. See this? This is either a lightning strike or something failed. This is cooked. You see this one here? The coating literally cooked off and you can actually see the aluminum. That's how I get most of these transformers. This is South Florida. I live in the lightning capital of the whole country. And a lot of it has to do with my geographic location, not just because of the lightning, because of how dense the population is down here in South Florida. If you live out in the rural country, I doubt you're going to be able to come across this many transformers, because you don't have 100 shopping malls and 100 plazas that need lighting now. It's an insurance issue. So these places like a Publix, a Walmart, Target, they have to have their parking lots lit up, because if you get mugged or robbed or whatever in their parking lot, you can sue them for having a light out. So down here, they change them out constantly. That's how I get so many of them. If you live by a city, or any big, you know, dense populated area, you're going to have more access to these than you would if you lived out in the middle of nowhere, basically. So I'm kind of, I kind of lucked out when I got into doing these, because of my location, the fact that they changed tons of them out, and the fact that I basically have the only machine that can process them that fast. Okay, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the electromagnet. Should I make a tabletop magnet or a magnet for the crane? I'm up in the air about both of them. I kind of like the idea of, actually, I could probably put this on a plate that'll function as both, where I could just throw it on the table, use it, or hook it up to my crane. Matter of fact, that's exactly what we're going to do. So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I got some other, I actually still have these things. I actually recovered some titanium out of them, so it's pretty interesting.